Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome back if you're new. My name is Alo and I am a Canadian mom of 2 and I budget for a family of 4, so myself, my partner, and our 2 kids. And today we are going to be discussing my family's financial goals, so mine and my partner's financial goals for 2022, as well as we're going to be doing a debt overview. So I have everything listed here, which will go over these accounts and what their totals are, and we will add them in, and then the calculation there at the bottom. So starting with financial goals, one of the first financial goals that we have this year is to pay off $10,000 worth of debt. So this is a big one. Both my husband and I come from, so we're first generation Canadians. Both of our parents are from Central America. So growing up in poverty, they were never taught financial skills and things like that. So again, that translated into their type of parenting and the things that we were taught, which meant that we were also not taught financial skills and how to manage our money. So that has kind of turned into a large number of debt and things like that, which of course is not our family's fault, our parents' fault. This is something that they were never taught, so they were never able to teach us, or were not educated in that field to teach us. So now we are self-educating and focusing on paying off our debt so that our kids can have a better, more financial future, and that we can teach them these same skills to have a better financial future. So paying off $10,000 of debt, which is a huge one for us. We have 2 really big debts, which we'll get into the numbers after, but one would be my student loan and then my husband's car finance. My student loan is over a period of many, many years and different programs that I've been through in college. And then, of course, the car finance, which was kind of a spur of the moment decision. My husband needed it at the time, and he didn't have all of the money to put down on a vehicle, and we didn't really know anything about car finances and things like that. So that's why $10,000 is pretty low for what we currently stand at, but it's a starting point, and I think that that's super important that we have that number. Of course, we would like to see us pay off a lot higher than that, but that right now is our target. So the second financial goal that we have this year is to have $2,500 in joint savings. We are planning on doing the 52-week challenge, both of us, and as well as the $5 savings challenge, but we have yet to start those. I'm not too worried about starting them just yet. We're just trying to get our ducks in a row first, and then we'll start them once we feel like we're able to. If you've watched my previous video, I talked about how my husband is a full-time employee and I am a part-time employee in the medical field, and that I was going into a more full-time position. But we have discussed this, and we have since agreed that I will take the last 10 weeks of my final semester. So I'm currently in my final semester as a full-time college student. I'll take that last semester off and focus on finishing with good grades, because last semester I did almost fail 1 class out of the 7 that I had because it was so content heavy and I was trying to work full-time and I couldn't stay on top of working full-time, being a mom to 2 and a wife and all these things, because my husband does work evenings and continental shifts. So a few days of the week I'm home at night by myself with the kids from after school hours. So I have late classes this semester, and I will not have time to work full time and then watch 6-hour lectures after work every single day, as well as take care of the kids and a household and things like that. So we've decided, and we have money put away from my student loan to be able to get us through until I start working and graduate in my field, which I'm super duper thankful for, which is why we have started this budgeting system again. We did do it on a previous channel that we had, a family channel, but we've decided to just have me do it on this channel because I am the one who manages all of our finances and things like that. So that is a super important one, to save $2,500 in our joint savings. And then the next one, so the third one, is to save $2,500 in personal savings. So we are super firm believers that for us, it works for us that we both have a joint savings as well as individual savings, and we also do have our own personal checkings account as well as a joint checkings account. I know it may seem like a lot to different people or to many different folks, but this is what works for us. You know, I don't want to know what's coming out of my husband's account, you know, if he purchases something for me, or I don't want him to know what comes out of, you know, what I'm purchasing for him if we have to share the same account. So that's how we love to have it. So $2,500 in personal savings, $2,500 in joint savings. So far, we're at about $15,000 worth of money being spent, so $10,000 towards debt. And then our fourth financial goal is to pay off my husband's student loan. So his is super small, and he just now is starting to make monthly payments on his student loan because it has officially, his term to pay has officially started, his repayment term. So he does only owe $3,000, which it would be included in this $10,000, but we want to have that paid off, you know, most of it before end of summer, because I do graduate this April, which means that my student loan will go into repayment by November. And because my number is super duper high, my payments will be a lot higher. So we would like to just be able to focus on one instead of multiple over that time period. So the next one, the fifth goal for us, would be to pay off 50% of the remaining car finance. We are actually under the number that we initially thought, which I'll show you the total after and kind of explain that, but paying off 50% of that is definitely a goal of ours. This car finance has definitely been a financial burden on us because it is costing so much in insurance. Here in Ontario, if you finance a car, in Ontario, Canada, if you finance a car, there are so many things that you have to have on your insurance that may not necessarily be necessary, or, you know, you have to have this expensive thing and that expensive thing. So this is a huge one because it is costing him so much in insurance to have that finance. So definitely a good one that we're focusing on. So the next one is to save $1,000 for emergency fund. Currently, as discussed in my previous video, if you haven't watched that, you should head and watch that. It's our very first budgeting of 2022. So this one, the emergency fund, right now we are stocking $125 bi-weekly, so $250 a month. But this will be capped at $500 once I hit graduation for school, and then we will definitely decrease that number and how much we put towards that each month, but that'll at least get us halfway to that goal. That's the plan. You know, fingers crossed it works out that way, because things don't always work out the way we want them. But again, that's $1,000 in savings in emergency funds. Our next one is open an RRSP. So my husband actually brought this up the other day, and that's a really good idea. We're just focusing a lot on our savings, which I'm totally okay with doing that, but we would like to at least open an RRSP, even if we don't touch it or put much money in it this year, because our main goal, again, is to focus on debt. We would at least like to have that open and ready even by the end of this year to begin next year once, you know, a big chunk of our debt is paid off. The next one, again, is kind of in that same topic. So this is to open an RESP. So an RRSP is a registered retired savings plan, and an RESP is a registered education savings plan. So an RESP is for the children, an RRSP is for when we retire, so for us later on in life. My son currently does have an RESP, but that account is between his father and I, so we would both like to open an RESP, you know, just my husband and I, and have those accounts for our children. And again, so as well, even a bank account for our daughter, because my son does have a bank account, which we have started budgeting for in our budget. And you'll see that in our previous video and our next videos coming up. And the next one would be to increase our credit score. So we would like to at least reach a 650 credit score, or somewhere around that 650 mark. Now, credit score, I mean, some of us have definitely been in situations where, you know, our credit score is very, very low. I will say I am close to that mark. I'm maybe under 100 points off of that mark, but when I initially started getting myself out of debt from the situation that I was in with my child's father, because I had a child at 19, and kind of things that have transpired throughout my life that got me to where I am today in debt and the lack of financial knowledge. My credit score actually was a 315, which is beyond poor. You're basically not even on the scale almost. 300's like the lowest of the scale. So I am definitely a lot closer to that number. I think when I last looked, I was 595. So I've definitely increased my credit score. Although I still do have all this debt. I've paid off quite a bit of debt throughout the past few years, but now I would like to really focus in on it and again get my family in a financially stable position. And I don't think there's anything else here. No. Okay, so next we are going to talk about the debt overview, which is a super duper big one. The green ones that I have highlighted are active accounts, so things that are not past due or things that are not in collections or in credit. Now, again, both my husband and I do have quite a few things in collections from our younger years that we are now focusing on and joining all of our debts together and paying these off. So, you know, no judgment over here. It is a judgment-free zone. If you are in the same situation as us, we totally get it. We understand it. You know, I'm not embarrassed of it. He's not embarrassed of it. We are learning from our experiences and from our situations, and we are now ready to grow. So let's get into totals. So I'm just going to turn this slightly. So I hope you can still see that. If not, I apologize. So the first one that I have is Freedom Mobile. Now I don't have this highlighted as a green account because I just closed this account down and switched to Bell. So I don't have any phone plans, but I have I don't have like the monthly phone plans or the yearly phone plans or whatever they are, but I pay monthly for mine. And mine is basically, you know, you pay X amount a month for the services for that month. And then if you decide, you know what, I don't want to pay anymore, then you don't owe anything else unless you use those services for that month. And then after 30 days, it will automatically cancel because they are prepaid monthly plans instead of pay-as-you-go or contract plans. So because I have just closed this account down and gone with a different provider so that I have more access, I was working out of town. Well, I'm finishing my work actually this coming week, which is super exciting because I've worked through the entirety of the pandemic and I work in public health and, you know, in dealing with COVID and things like that. So this one I recently closed, so I'm going to pay this one off. So this one is $79.17. Let's fix that. So $79.17. And then the next one is the revenue agency. So last year when I did my taxes, I owe a little bit of money. Tax season is coming up where you do your taxes and, you know, the tax season is ending. So I definitely need to pay them before this tax season ends. But it is not a big amount, so I definitely can get this out of the way. So I owe $250. I believe it's just a little less than $250, but I've rounded it up to $250 just to have those more like even numbers, I guess, for this one, because I'm not exactly sure the total. I last looked and I know it was like $240 and change, but $250 is what I'm going to put. The next one that we have is TD Bank. So my husband owes TD Bank $367.24. So this is his overdraft plus accumulated bank fees and things like that that he owes them. He closed that account down, or he left that branch and then we went to a branch together, but this is the remainder of what he owes to close that account out officially. So that is again $367.24. And then the next one that we have is for the Canadian Revenue Agency, and this is for my partner. So he owes $465 on the dot. So again, these are active accounts. They're not past due. They're not in bad standings or anything like that. These are just accounts that are currently active, and you know, the revenue agency, we actually owe them. I actually owe them because we claimed common law, and him as well, because we both claim common law. So we made more than we should have, or weren't taxed enough. So that's what we owe them, is the remainder of the taxes on that. And then the next one that I currently have is my Capital One. So this one is my active Visa, and I owe $505 and 22 cents. And then RBC Bank. I owe RBC Bank, I think it was like $670, but we'll put $700 just to make it even. I know it is under the 700 mark, but it's definitely close to there. Next one is Bell Canada. So my husband owes Bell Canada from when, actually before we were together, he owes Bell Canada. I think he was paying for services at his mom's house or something like that. I'm not too sure, or a previous partner's house or something like that. And then the next one is his TD Visa. So he owes, oh, my computer closed on me. So let me open this up. Oh, come on. Okay, this is not gonna work. Oh, there we go. Okay. My computer's opening whatever it would like to open. Okay, so he owes TD Visa $1,154 on the dot. Next one is Cash Money. So he owes them $13.98, and that's on the dot. York Property, which I actually owe them from many years ago when I was younger, and I hate to say it, but this one, I've been so petty about this one, this York Property, because this is actually something that both I owe, because I'm the main leaseholder on this account, but this actually, I left my child's father, and then I left the apartment to him. I was super young, didn't know at the time that if I was also the main leaseholder, whatever he did with the apartment, that it would come back on me, because he was the secondary leaseholder and not the primary. So I actually owe this one because I left and he stayed at the apartment for 2 extra months or 3 extra months. I forget how much it was. I think it was 2. And he never paid rent there. So both of our names are on the account. So I owe this, you know, he owes the exact same amount that shows, but he has never made any payments on it. And at this point, I never made any payments because I didn't want to improve his credit and pay off, you know, his debt, but it is affecting my credit as well because my name is on the account. So I got to put petty aside and pay off the account, even if it benefits him in any way, whatever. Just get that done and over with. But that one is $1,580. I did make some payments on that a few times, so that one has definitely come down. And then the next one is Bell Canada. So I as well owe Bell Canada from my previous relationship with my child's father, which, by the way, that ended when I was like 21 and I'm now 28, almost 29. So again, these accounts have been in this standing condition for quite some years, many years. But yeah, you gotta start somewhere and you gotta make that step to improve, and that's exactly what we're doing. So again, no judgment. The next one that I owe is an RBC Credit Card. So I owe $2,800 on that. My husband's student loan, which is $3,203. And then my husband owes Money Mart, so he owes them $3,362 and 9 cents. And then Capital One, my husband owes, and I have a list over here on my computer beside me. You can't see it, but it's like right there. My husband owes $3,704. And then the car, so these two are the ones that I was saying that are the biggest. My student loan, definitely. My student loan is really big. One, I've been in a few different college programs. So I initially graduated business, And then I went back to, I moved to Toronto and I went to Humber College in Lakeshore to do a Bachelor's of Fashion Management and Commerce. A strike happened. I had to withdraw. So because I withdrew and didn't complete my first year, I got an academic penalty. And then I also got penalized for the price of the student loan because, again, I didn't complete it or pass it per se because I withdrew. So they charged me, and I had withdrawn midway through the last semester of my first year. So they had charged me the entirety amount of OSAP of what they gave me, which was quite some thousands of dollars because, again, at the time I was a mother of just one at that time. But when you have a child, you get a lot more for a student loan. And then I went back, did the pre-health to go into nursing, decided after pre-health that nursing wasn't where I wanted to go, took some time off, and then decided that I was going to go into the field that I'm in now, which I graduate in 8 weeks, and I'm so excited. But I have been to college quite a few times, so that number is pretty high. And then the car finance, which we talked about, we actually thought the car finance was over $15,000, but it currently sits at $13,147.00. And we pay this monthly. We pay, or bi-weekly, we pay $185. So we definitely want to add more money to the principal to pay it down quicker. Ideally, by the end of the year, we would like to be at that $6,000-7,000 mark. Again, one of our financial goals is to have 50% of the car finance paid off. So we're hoping to get there. If we have more, we would love to have more, but ideally we'd like to have half of it paid off. And then the big kahuna, my student loan, is $38,410.00. So that brings us to a total of $73,597.48, which I'm sure that number may be off just a little bit because the cents are, you know, I just rounded all these numbers up. So this number could be a little bit less. It could be a tiny bit more, but when I did all the calculations and I did round everything up, this number should be a little bit less. But that is what we are working with, $73,597.48. And ideally by the end of this year, because we are focusing on such small debts, we're hoping to only have Capital One for my husband, car finance, my student loan. You know what, let's highlight them. Okay, so ideally we would like to have this one, car finance, Capital One, Money Mart, and there's one more. I think that was it. These are the four that we're hoping, not hoping, but like ideally we would like to end with just these four left by focusing on all of these numbers each month. As of right now, we are going to be paying $600 monthly. This is our goal monthly, and that's going to go towards our debt snowball. If you watch my previous video, you would know that we have decided to prepay our rental fees until the end of May or the end of April, either April or May. I believe it's the end of May. So we're still going to budget out our full rental amount like we should every 2 weeks as if we're still paying. And all of that money is going to go towards our debt snowball. So then it's going somewhere and not just in our sinking funds or being spent on things that we don't need. So we budget out $900 in total, so monthly, towards our rent. We pay less than that, but we budget it because it's super close to the 900 mark and it just makes it easier. So again, 600 of that is going to go to debt snowball, but then we're going to do 300 of this. So that breaks down to 150 bi-weekly toward our sinking fund, to kind of build those while I'm still in school and not working, but I do have money to pay myself every 2 weeks to keep a consistent income with my husband's income. and then to decrease our debt snowball. So ideally, once I do start working, we would like to be near the bigger numbers, but obviously it's a work in progress, so we'll see kind of where we get. And again, we'll keep making these financial videos and updating this stuff monthly, and kind of closing out our accounts every month just to see where we're at, and then, you know, kind of just go from there. It is obviously a big, scary thing looking at this number and being like, wow, you know, how did we get in such a position? But again, we are two very different people coming from different walks of life, joining all of our debts together. Some of this, you know, we do have obviously from being together as well. Very little of it, but there are quite a few, not quite a few, but there are definitely a few from or early pandemic when we just had our daughter and stuff like that. So, you know, now we are definitely tackling and working on paying off our debt, which is the biggest thing, and growing from there and heading toward that financial freedom. So again, that is our financial overview for 2022. We've gone over our goals, which I think these are pretty good goals for starting off with so much debt and kind of focusing on that. And then, you know, this is our total of our debt snowball. So I'd definitely love to see this number go down, because I mean, wow, that is scary. But you know, everyone's story and everyone's life is very different from each other's. You know, I've seen videos of people who have bigger debt numbers and people who have smaller debt numbers and things like that. So no shame in our game, you know, no shame in your game. And yeah, that is basically it for this video. And if you're new here, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and comment down below. I had a few people comment on my first video, and I love chatting with people. I think it's so cool to follow people on their journey. So if you're also new and starting, you know, whether you're from Canada, the US, or different parts of the world, just, you know, leave your YouTube channel down below, leave a comment, and, you know, let me know that you are also new, or you know, maybe you've been doing this for some time and you want a follower. Just, you know, leave that channel down below, and I will be sure to watch your videos and follow and support you on your journey. And I hope that you would do the same for me. So thank you very much for watching today's video. I hope that you enjoyed this, and I hope this makes you feel, you know, a little bit less bad, I guess you could say, less horrible about your financial debts or anything like that. You know, we've all come from different walks of life, and again, no shame in our game, no shame in your game. We all got to start somewhere. So that is it for today's video, and I hope that you'll stick around. So, you know, just hit that subscribe button, turn on the post notifications, and leave a comment down below as well. I'll leave my Instagram handle here, and I'll leave it also down in the description below, and you could follow me there if you're interested. So thank you so much, and see you in our next video.